Hi everyone, my name is Amanda and I'm the marketing coordinator at Helm Operations. Joining me is Christy Benson, account executive at Helm Operations, and Aaron Pugh, chief experience officer at Tug and Barge Solutions, which is one of Helm's partners. So today we wanted to get together to talk about COVID-19, how we've seen it impact the maritime industry, and how Helm and TBS are working together to get through the crisis while continuing to provide value to our customers in the time when they need it most. So to start us off, how have both of you seen COVID-19 impact the maritime industry?
So TBS has seen quite a few changes. One of the things that we've seen change the most is the way that the industry is performing crew changes and a reflection into their safety policies and procedures. So we see crew members having to get their temperature checked before they get on the vessel, as well as during their shifts to make sure that they aren't having any symptoms of COVID-19. We've seen different forms being published into Helm. We've created a COVID-19 checkup form that they have to fill out every day, as well as a part of our on-voyage form we've changed to make it so that it's a whole COVID section to make sure that before they're getting to the vessel, they're answering the questions about their health to make sure that they don't have any symptoms before reaching the boat, because that could be detrimental to a vessel and shut it down. And for a smaller company, they can't really afford to have a whole vessel shut down for a long period of time due to a virus. We've seen more maritime professionals turning to the virtual world, where before they kind of shied away from social media platforms, they're now looking to those social media platforms to get information about COVID and to stay in the know of what's going on in the maritime world, which is awesome for us. And we're also seeing a difference in the way that COI inspections, audits, vessels, and surveys are being performed. They're now being able to do a little bit more virtually, like walking through a vessel with a GoPro and showing that to an auditor or surveyor instead of actually bringing employees that are not part of the company to the vessel. A few more things that we've seen are restrictions to personnel getting to the boats that are not a part of the company. Obviously, they want to limit as many germs and potential carriers that they can to keep the vessel moving. So there are restrictions that I think are going to kind of play out into making it harder for non-company employees to get to vessels in the future. And then another big thing is the restrictions in shipyards. We do have companies that can't get to their vessels in the shipyards due to the restrictions that the shipyards are putting in place on who can come in and out. And again, more in the harder hit spots like New York and Louisiana, those restrictions are a little bit stricter. But overall, it's definitely an issue when you as a boat owner cannot get to your vessel to see what work is being done on your vessel in the shipyard. So the biggest impact is definitely access to vessels. If a ship owner doesn't want you there because, just fear of you spreading that virus, it's definitely hard, to bring in a maintenance person to come or a welder to come fix something on the vessel when you're not part of the company. You don't want to bring in any unnecessary employees or crew members to that vessel. So an access issue is the largest impact I think we've seen for sure.
Right. Is there anything else that you've seen, Christy, that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, for instance, with Helm being a global operations, having customers worldwide, we're seeing very much the same as Aaron has pointed out, a lot of restrictions, a lot of fear too, about, who can and cannot get on the vessels. But we're also seeing a lot of the shoreside personnel now working from home. So a lot of personnel are now having to work from home, so making adjustments. So kind of like for us, an adjustment of working home, it does impact things. It does impact things. When we look at the different verticals within our customer range, we're really, really seeing that the hardest hit are the passenger vessel operators. Either they're just not in operation right now, or they're at risk of losing their operations. For our workboat operators, it's still business as usual. But of course, now the commercial fishing operators are starting to look at going out. Their season is starting. And as Aaron was pointing out, there's a lot of inspections and processes and procedures that are having to be put in place. So temperatures are being checked and health records are being reviewed prior to any crew getting on board. The last thing we want to see is some occurrence like what's happening with the cruise ships, where all of a sudden a pandemic breaks out on a vessel. So we're just seeing operators having to look at any possible way to restrict that from happening on board. So safety first, safety, safety.
For sure. Yeah, we've definitely seen a large impact in the industry so far, and it'll be interesting to see what lasting effects that all of this has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So narrowing our focus a bit, how have your daily operations been impacted by the virus? Erin, did you want to tell us a bit about how TBS has been managing?
Yeah, sure. So we are considered essential workers, so we are just chugging away as usual here. We've had some staff in the office that have worked from home just due to, different health things. But we are kind of seeing a surge in our home support / safety support calls. We think that more people are kind of taking this downtime to focus on what the systems are actually doing for them and what changes they want to see within their systems, customizing it to their companies a little bit more. So we're definitely taking a lot more calls here in the office, which is great. We love to hear from our customers. And then with the travel, we've been able to do some travel, but again, it's really just dependent on whether our customers want us to be on their vessels. And of course, we don't want to bring any type of virus to any vessel or any company. So it has been limited. But as we see our states kind of lifting the restrictions up in various areas, it's making travel a little bit easier for us. So kind of this past week and the week before, and right now we are traveling more, getting to more vessels, but we have still been able to do surveys and audits, COI inspections, helm installs and implementations. They have been going on as we regularly planned, as much as possible, as long as the companies feel comfortable with us being there. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Christy, in comparison, how would you say that we've been impacted by COVID here at Helm?
Well, interesting enough, being a technology company, I mean, our staff are equipped to be working from home. So that hasn't impacted us too much, but it does impact the morale. I mean, when you're working with an incredible team like Helm and you're used to going into a very open office environment, it's the energy that we really thrive off of. So the inability to look across the room or look to your side and being able to run some ideas or get inspiration it just isn't there like it used to be. But we're still having regular every week meetups and check-ins with the whole entire team where we're sharing what's going on. So working from remotely is probably going to continue indefinitely. Being a Canadian company, a little different from the States where we are slowly, gradually lifting some restrictions, but I think it's going to be a bit slower pace up here in Canada in terms of comparison of the US. The biggest impact is going to be when we're onboarding new customers. We don't have the ability right now to travel outside of the border. So for our American customers, we can't get on site to implement them. So either it could be a remote implementation via online, or we can also rely on our fabulous partners like TBS. If it's safe for them to do so and the customer is open to the idea, then they can be going on site and implementing them because they are, of course, Helm experts. And this is when partnership and relationships really matter.
Definitely, yeah. It's been great having TBS, especially during these times. So moving on to the next question, how have each of your companies responded to the crisis? So are you doing anything differently or offering anything now that you weren't before?
Yeah, so I'll kick this one off. I'm sure everyone has been sick of me saying this already, but we have been working to make TBS as virtually sticky to all of our clients as humanly possible. So we've gone definitely towards a more virtual world, just like I was talking about earlier with all of our maritime professionals really looking more virtual. We wanted to become obviously more virtual. So I'm gonna share my screen and just kind of show you guys a little bit of what we've been working on. We have been creating an awesome YouTube channel that is a whole library full of wealth and knowledge. We've been creating videos on MSIB bulletins that have been released from the Coast Guard and just trying to keep everybody as updated as possible with anything that the Coast Guard is saying dealing with COVID-19, because there are updates coming out, every couple of days or so. And then we've also been working, trying to create Helm tutorial videos for any person in the maritime industry using Helm. So we're trying to cover every single topic that you can possibly think of. We only have about 9 videos out right now, which is still great. And we are going to be continuing to add to this playlist right here of Helm tricks every single week. We've been trying to release about 2 or 3 Helm trick videos per week. And then we also have been working on recording examples of drills on the vessels to give your crew an example of what specific drills should look like. It's just kind of a reference to them, giving them an idea of how they should run their drills. And the last thing we've done is done video walkthroughs of the vessels, so that if the Coast Guard wanted to see the vessel and you're wanting to limit who comes to the vessel, we can show them this awesome video of a walkthrough of it using a GoPro or regular camera. And we're hoping to create more videos dealing with safety topics. We want to make our whole SMS system virtual, so make each section basically a summary of that section in a video. So definitely adding more topics to our whole library of knowledge right here. The other thing we've been working on is offering more virtual trainings to crew members and shoreside personnel, as well as virtual implementations and Helm installs. I know that once the restrictions are lifted and we're able to travel more and companies feel more comfortable with us coming back, we will definitely be out to all of our clients again soon. But until then, this kind of helps during this downtime to keep them educated, keep them understanding the system, and work with it as much as possible. So when we are able to come back out, everybody feels a little bit more comfortable with the systems, because the vessels don't stop, they're still running, and everyone still needs to keep using the system as much as possible. So those are just a few of the ways that we're trying to change our culture here at TBS to make it more viable for our customers and non-customers in the maritime industry.
All right, well, thank you for sharing, Erin. Those videos are awesome. They're going to be really useful to a lot of people, and I'm excited to see what else you'll be making in the future. Christy, did you want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing at Helm in response to COVID?
Yeah, most definitely. So what we did is we got together and we considered, how can we create value for our existing customers in this downtime? And one idea was that we should be donating some hours so that they can use those hours for training. And those training hours could be focused on any area in the system that they could possibly be struggling with. So we donated or offered to donate 5 hours of training to all 200 plus customers. We were actually really, really grateful with the response. We had over 50 customers come back saying, yes, this is exactly what we would love to do. Because right now with the downturn, there is some opportunity to bring captains in or staff in or personnel that have been struggling or super users that want to get more versatile within the system so that they feel more confident or can get the value that they were hoping for out of the system. So we did that, and like I said, it's been a great response. In addition to that, what we try to do every week or every month is release blogs and information from Helm, any helpful tips or information that is going to help our customers move forward and continue to get value. So one thing we did, I'm just going to show my screen now. I'm going to open up. Oh, there we go. Is a great blog that Amanda, who you see here, together for us. Now, Amanda worked with our implementation specialists. They're an incredible team. They're part of our professional services department, and they're the ones that go on site and implement customers, but also work with customers and learn from customers in ways that the system can be utilized in different workflows. So we took this as an opportunity to work with customers and understand what are the different processes and procedures that they're having to put in place because of COVID. So while working with them, our implementation specialist, Liam, was able to look at the system and go, hey, we can be doing inspection checklists for cleaning. We can also be using our document library to scan and upload any sort of new procedures or policies that they want to have available on board. Now, the great thing with this is that the crew or the asset itself can acknowledge and say, yes, I've read that and I understand that new policy and procedure. We can also track all PPE through our inventory module. And we can also set it up with inventory checklists. So if you fall below a certain threshold, that the system automatically is going to place a requisition, ensuring that that PPE equipment is on board at any given time. There's great information in here, and of course it's readily available on our website or through Facebook. And if you are interested in any of those free training hours, or if you're interested in learning how Helm Connect can help you improve your operations or help you deal with COVID, contact us. We're always here to help.
All right, that's great, Christy. Thank you so much for sharing that with everybody. And like she said, if anybody is struggling or needs help with extra training, don't hesitate to reach out to either Helm or TBS during these times, because we're more than happy to try and help in any way that we can. So that was actually our last question for this video. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say, everybody, please stay safe. As the states are lifting restrictions, still stay safe through all of that. We are going to be working on releasing more videos to make sure that you are kept in the know and that you have as much up-to-date information as humanly possible, and more Helm tips and tricks videos as well. So if there's anything that you are interested in seeing as a tutorial or any other ideas that you may have, please just send them our way. And if you have questions or safety questions, Helm questions, please feel free to call us. We are always available to help and make sure that you are staying safe and compliant during these times.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. Christy, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, first of all, I just want to point out how amazing it is to have partners like TBS. And Erin, thank you so much for doing this with us. I mean, it has been about 4 years of being in a partnership with TBS, and it is one of the best things that has happened for Helm. Working with you guys is awesome. And so we would like to continue working with Erin and building webinars that are going to provide value to both TBS and Helm Connect customers. So hopefully next webinar, Erin had a brilliant idea. We want to bring in some of the auditors that work with TBS and really understand what are they seeing in terms of COVID and what is the impact when they're getting on board the vessels. And maybe there's some helpful tips and tricks that we can share amongst each other that's going to impact or help companies while they struggle through these times.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Erin and Christy, for joining me today, and thank you to everybody who's watching this. This has been a great opportunity for us to share what we're noticing in the industry right now and how we're responding to it. And like Christy said, we're going to continue working together to keep you updated. So stay tuned for another video coming from both of us next quarter. And in the meantime, don't forget to connect with both of us on social. So stay safe, everyone, and bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.